So what's with Carrie Fisher's dog? She's been bringing it on all those interviews.
She's just an eccentric lady, I think. She loves her doggy. Because if she's not married, must not be married, right? I have no idea.
Don't think so.
I don't think Carrie's married. I don't think so.
I think Star Wars was maybe the peak of her life. Is she in other things? Yeah. 30 Rock, I really have no idea.
Yeah. Never go with a hippie to a second location.
Her IMDb, I love the filmography. It says that she's known for Star Wars, and then Star Wars.
Well, yeah.
So that kind of makes sense.
Princess Leia. Or Leah. She just loves her dog. If you had a cute little black English bulldog, or maybe it's a French bulldog, you'd take it everywhere, too.
Carrie, by the way, looking through this, I forgot Carrie was in When Harry Met Sally.
Oh,
Carrie plays Meg Ryan's friend, Marie.
All right, let's get going. Time to start the show. Hello, welcome to the All My Movies podcast. I'm Erin.
And I'm Mary.
And today we're doing While You Were Sleeping. No snoring. I don't think any snoring in this movie.
All right.
No. And today is a very special episode of the All My Movies podcast because we have an in-studio guest. Woo! Everybody welcome. This is my brother, Alex.
Hey! Thanks. Excited to be here.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Alex has a great radio voice and a great TV face and is a While You Were Sleeping expert. Let's be honest.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
True story.
It's good.
So do you have memories of your first viewing, Alex?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This was back in 1995. This movie came out, and our mom and Aunt Tricia, went to this, in the theaters.
Do not remember.
Oh, you don't remember this? This really had a big part. I was 10, and you were only 7.
I
You were little. I guess you were 8, at this point. But anyway, they went, and Mom just loved it. She loved the movie, and she came home and she was just talking about how much it's so funny. Oh, you guys will love it. And so this obviously way before Netflix or anything like that. But we had a little satellite receiver, and you could get movies on demand, and it was over a holiday weekends. And some in December.
Wow, you remember this great.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it was around Christmas because I think this movie came out around Thanksgiving, maybe.
Incorrect.
When did this come out?
April.
In April? Oh my, okay. That would make sense then. There's a little more gap. But that's so funny because it's Christmas and New Year's in the film.
I have it written down.
I'm sure you're right. No, I know. You do your research. We watched it over Christmas for the first time in our living room. Our family would sometimes do movie nights when we were little and shut all the lights off. And so Mom was pushing hard to rent While You Were Sleeping, and we watched it. And I just thought it was great. Yeah. It was funny, and as a kid, it wasn't too over my head. And we proceeded to watch it a lot, growing up and in college, etc. And first viewing, all of us in the living room, just with the lights off, popcorn. It was great.
Just when the music comes on, it just makes you happy. And obviously we'll get into just your favorite parts, but I love it. It's up there with one of my favorites. Not just Sandy, but of all time, I think.
Mary, when was your first viewing?
I was trying to remember. I don't think I have an exact one. I feel like it might have been one of those I totally just bought out of the $5 bin because I was collecting my Sandy movies. My friend in high school, his family, his mom really loved it. And she was my youth group mentor. And one time, I think we were on a youth group trip and it was on TV. And so we ended up watching it. It could have been Return to Me, too. She really likes both While You're Sleeping and Return to Me. So I feel like she introduced me to these movies, and then I bought it and loved it on my own as well.
Nice.
It is quite good. And just to give you, if you haven't seen it, we're going to play a little bit of the trailer for you. It's a great trailer. Adorable. Again, we can only find a 2-minute one, so we're only going to play 30 seconds of it. But here you go. Take a little listen.
Jerry, I'm not working Christmas.
But Lucy, you're the only one.
About family.
For Lucy, loneliness was a way of life.
Joe Jr.'s still single.
Yeah, it's a shocker.
But the moment she saw Peter, she became a believer in love at first sight.
He was perfect.
Then fate stepped in.
Mister! There's a train coming! Oh, God, you smell good.
Now she's part of his life.
He's in a coma.
Oh, I was gonna marry him.
Who's she?
She's his fiancée. No. Peter's engaged.
Part of his family.
So glad he found you!
Mary, do you want to give us your Twitter summary?
Yes, I would love to. Sandy saves Peter's life, pretends to be his fiancé while he's in a coma. She falls in love with Peter's brother Jack. You still following?
That's That's great. That is
That about sums it up. Yeah.
because a lot of the conversations that I love in this movie are like her trying to explain it to her boss.
Yes.
And so funny. Poor Jerry.
And her friend at work, Celeste, I think is her name.
That's,
Saul? Who's Saul? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. That's,
Yeah, it's super funny. So again, initial reactions, just love it. Love it to bits.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, it's 20 years. Like, we missed the anniversary in April, but...
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Gosh, time flies.
Yep.
I think initial reaction, after watching the film and when you think about it, they just got everything right. I think all the people that they cast are just perfect. I think they develop all the extra characters. Like, everybody in the family is so funny. Like, they give them a chance to have these fun lines and develop a personality, and they all kind of play their little part in the story. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just great. It's a very sweet film. It's maybe a little impossible at times. But, we'll get into that maybe later. But I just love that it's a complete film. It's not just two people or three people who are good, and then you kind of have these other people. But
The ensemble cast of the family is great. And the friends. And
oh my gosh, Joe Fusco Jr. I mean, there's just so much to get into.
So this came out in April 21st, 1995. This had a $17 million budget, where last week we reviewed 28 Days, which had like a $40 million budget or something crazy.
43, I think it was.
Yeah.
Making movies.
Yeah, it made $81 million total gross.
That was the cum? Wow, that's pretty good.
So good for Sandy. This came out the same weekend as Kiss of Death? I don't know. With Samuel L. Jackson and Nick Cage. Who knows what that's about? And then Basketball Diaries with Leonardo DiCaprio.
How about that?
Which is a tragic, terrible movie.
Never heard of it.
But yeah, it beat them both. So go Sandy. That's another win for you.
I think that's really funny, by the way, that a Nick Cage film came out the same day as this, because director John Turteltaub basically only works with Nick Cage. John Turteltaub directed.
Oh.
But as mind-blowing as this is, John Turteltaub directed National Treasure 2.
Really?
Is in line to direct National Treasure 3 whenever that comes out.
Wow.
The Apprentice, the Magician's Apprentice movie. It was like Nick Cage for like 7 straight years for John Turteltaub. It's crazy.
Maybe when this came out and then Nick Cage was like, who beat me at the box office?
Right.
I'm going to work with that director.
I'm only going to work with that guy because he beat me that one time.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, John Turteltaub also directed Cool Runnings and Three Ninjas. Those are the two movies that he directed previous to this. So it would make total sense that he would do a rom-com with Sandy and Bill Pullman next.
Yeah, why not?
Total sense.
Good stuff. So in the line of Sandy's career, the movie she did before this was The Net. No, wait. Yeah. No, this was before The Net. So she did this one, and then The Net came out.
Oh.
I think later that same year, because I think that was
95
1995
too. Yeah.
So, so early on in Sandy's career, just hits a home run. All the way through. Let's do the plot. Mare, want to start us off?
Yes, I would love to. I've always loved the opening sequence of this movie, starting with Natalie Cole's "This Will Be an Everlasting Love," and then the train tracks just going and going, and then shots of Chicago.
It's a great way to start off a movie. You immediately know this is going to be feel good. You're going to have a good time. You're going to laugh. Maybe cry. I don't know. But
Maybe there'll be a train involved.
trains.
Yeah.
It's good foreshadowing in this film.
Sets it up well. You're definitely in Chicago. There will be trains.
Al, maybe you can help with the sports aspect of this. Was that a statue of Michael Jordan in the beginning, or was it just random athlete playing basketball?
Oh boy, they wouldn't have had the Jordan statue in '95, I don't think, would they? Because his career, he would have just retired the first time.
He was done baseball for a little bit just then, like 94, right?
Yeah. So I think if they were going to film, this must have been filmed in '93, '94. And that would have been, Jordan would have still been playing for the Bulls. They would have won their third title at that point. I don't think they erected a statue of him.
People like putting up statues.
Because there's a basketball statue in the beginning.
Okay. See, it could have been. Because there is one now. Like, there is a Jordan statue now in front of the United Center.
Okay.
See, this is where, like, not watching the movie, or not paying attention as close as I should have.
I know.
Is going to come back to haunt
Well,
me.
it's just like a quick 5 seconds
That could be
in
it,
This Will
maybe.
Be an Everlasting Love. But it's just
Mary
very
has
memorable
really
to me.
Keen eyes.
Yeah.
So
Clearly. Yeah.
she's really.
Locked in.
I then Googled Michael Jordan.
I think it's fun, by the way, that the opening is, like just Mary said, trains, Chicago, all this stuff. This Will Be an Everlasting Love. narration from Sandy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it ends just like that. Like it's the same.
Yep.
We just bookend it all together. It's just
Oh,
kinda
yeah,
fun.
totally.
Yeah, because
Great
we only hear
closure.
the narration at the beginning and the very end. Yeah, it just covers it up. And they're trains at the end. But we'll get to that later.
Trains. Yeah, so it goes into a flashback, and she's narrating it, and it's her childhood. And I love the line where she's like, "Oh, I just don't remember it being so orange," or something.
Yeah.
It's
That's right.
tinted a little orange, like a sunset, and so she's talking about her and her dad and the great adventures that they would go on till Milwaukee.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she would ask him questions about her mom, who passed away when she was really little, which was very sweet. And her dad just were the bestest of buddies.
Yeah, I love the line where her dad says, "Your mother gave me the world." But really, it's just a globe with a light in it.
She's a romantic though.
Yeah.
It develops that because he was too. These are people. Yeah. Lucy and the family, very romantic.
Yes, I want to say that the dad, Sandy's dad, looks a lot like Peter Gallagher.
Yeah, just like
He's
less
got
eyebrow.
Yeah.
He could have been, there could be brothers. It's just his brother who like tweezes his eyebrows.
Yeah.
This was Mike Gallagher, played
Yeah.
the role of Yeah.
And one of the notes or one of the lines that Sandy says, she's like, "Dad always told me life doesn't always turn out the way you planned. I wish I would have known he was talking about my life."
Yep.
And so we see Sandy. She's sad again. She's all alone. We've noticed that trend. Sandy plays a lonely person a lot.
Yeah.
And so she's alone. It looks like her mother is dead. We see her father has died. And she's working at a toll booth. Is
Working
that
at the-
or
yeah.
CTA, the Chicago Transit Authority.
Transit
Googled it.
taking tokens, which that wouldn't happen nowadays.
I know. I was thinking, like, in my mind, this movie totally holds up because I've never been to Chicago and dealt with their public transit. So, like, they're out, like, in my mind, they're still using these tokens. It's still just that.
These little like arcade tokens
Yeah.
that they slide into
Keep
the
that
thing.
bubble of hope alive. You can never go.
I can never go to Chicago.
Because that bubble will pop real fast.
Yeah.
Oh man. Can I ask you? So what brought her to this? I feel like she's kind of a hard luck kind of a case, but
Yeah. Well, her dad, she explains it later that her dad had died a year ago, and they had moved from Indiana to Chicago, so she had to quit
'Cause
school.
it was medical bills, right? That
Research
was the goal.
hospital. She had to
That's
go to the
right, yep.
research hospital, and then he died, and so maybe she was just like stuck, and she couldn't leave. She didn't have enough money to go back to school, so she just stayed. I guess I don't know.
Got into a routine and
She did have her friend, Celeste, her co-worker friend, and
yeah.
Jerry was funny, but her boss. But they're not really her
Not friends,
I know, but
Yeah.
so she's just kind of stuck. She's got an apartment.
Just a
and
cat.
A cat. What's the cat's name? We couldn't. Meow?
we don't. Gosh,
I
don't
was
think we ever
thinking
hear
it was either Meow or Mouse.
Oh yeah, that could be too. Because Fluffy's the name of
Yeah.
the name in quotation marks of Peter's cat.
Right.
But I don't know if we ever actually hear the name of.
Well, she says it when she dips her Oreo in the
Right.
cat's milk. She's like, "Come here,
Yeah.
meow." But
Yeah.
I don't.
But is she just saying
I have no
meow?
idea.
She just. Anyway, she has a
Right.
cat.
That I don't
She
know.
breaks her tree through the window.
Right.
She's just a hard luck case.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the next time we see her. She's hauling her tree up her side of her building. And
Should have gotten the spruce. They're lighter.
Yes.
yeah,
That's
it's
my
very,
favorite
very
line.
fun.
Yeah.
It is good, and she's wearing an awesome sweater.
Yes.
Her clothes in this movie.
So similar to the net, except this time the sweater has a Christmas present inside of
Yeah.
it.
That is legit. Like
Yeah.
you pull out a Christmas present from your sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. It begs the question: was she going to clown college and was like just pulling
pulling
things? That's where she learns. It's a great '80s sweater. She has
It
a-
is.
Yeah.
Her everything. Big sweaters and big baggy sweatpants and
Yep.
like her Doc Martin type boots and she's rocking the 90s wear for sure.
She's comfortable. By the way, so when the tree breaks through, I'm sorry if I'm getting ahead of myself.
No,
but
go for it.
When the tree breaks through the window, of course, and Lucy, and she got it because the owner comes up in the super, and then we get to meet Joe Jr. So it's a blessing in disguise
Yes.
that the spruce goes through the window.
Joe Fusco.
Joe Fusco. The moment when poor Joe's on all fours, like fixing whatever, and her landlord is like, Lucy, you're a nice girl, and Joe Jr. is still single.
And then plumber butt.
It's just perfect.
Or what, yeah.
Shocker. There's so many great lines. Hey, Luce, nice sweater. It's just classic.
Yeah, he's a great character.
Michael Rispoli.
Oh. Is that the actor?
That's the actor. Who, ironically, looking on IMDb, which is great. Michael Rispoli won a Best Actor award, like in 2001 at like a film festival.
Wow.
And he also, by the way, pastimes include like teaching people how to kickbox and like making or something about fruit, like growing his own fruit or something. That's what Joe Fusco's been doing these days.
Joe.
So
Yeah.
good times. Anyway, sorry.
Excellent. No, he's great. That's Sandy's life, and we see her. There's a frequent scene with her and her boss at the hot dog stand, and the poor hot dog guy won't give her her right order.
Yeah, I think that's another loner thing, because like the hot dog guy like doesn't even remember her from day to day, because I'm assuming she goes there every day.
Well, she says the usual, and he's
Yeah.
like, huh? And then her boss comes over, I'll have the usual, and then gives him a
Points
credit
out,
box.
yep.
Poor Sandy, eating her hot dogs. And so her boss comes up and says that she's won this award, that she's the CTA Employee of the Month or something like that, and then reads this letter, air quotes, about how she always works holiday, even though she's worked the previous holiday.
Including Christmas. Yep.
Yeah, so he wants her to work Christmas, and it's just really sad because she doesn't have any family, because he's like, Celeste has a big deal with her, and I promised my kids I'd be there,
for 'em this year.
and you're the only one without family, and you're just like, Sandy. So,
Yeah.
very sad, very alone.
However, this sets the plot into motion. Even though Sandy loses, we all win.
Yeah, it sets it up for like the best meet cute ever, I would say.
Exactly.
And technically they don't even meet.
Well, I mean, what is meeting, really? She smells him. I feel like that's close enough to be saying.
He says Merry Christmas.
He does.
Yep.
Enter Peter Gallagher, who I'm probably going to call Sandy Cohen throughout this podcast. So she fell in love with him. He walks to her little tool booth every day between 8:05 and 8:15 or something crazy like that. And she, kind of talks about how, one day I'll figure out how to say hi to him and he'll love me and that'll be it or something like that. And so Peter Gallagher comes on Christmas Day. There's no one else there and walks up to her booth and says Merry Christmas. And she goes, and then proceeds to like hit herself in the head and Merry Christmas, nice coat, I love you, marry me. So she has a little episode in her toll booth and then looks up to see hooligans, street youths, terrorizing poor Sandy Cohen, and they knock him onto the tracks.
Shove him onto the tracks.
Which, would you think? I mean, they were like flipping his scarf. Were they trying to rob him? Were they just making fun of him?
Because they take his money, I think, right? Don't they pickpocket him?
I don't think so.
They find his
Because
wallet later though in the stuff, right?
Yeah, because she's got his wallet.
Something happens. Maybe they get. I think that was the plan. I think was they were gonna rob him, and then they accidentally bump him onto the tracks, and then they realize
And they run away.
we got to get out of here. So maybe they don't accomplish. Yeah, you're right, because they do find his wallet. Yeah.
So enter Sandy the hero, and so she jumps on the tracks to save him, and she's got great lines. She's like, "Oh, you smell really good," and he's passed out.
Mister, it's a train coming. It's an express.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's really funny. And she rolls him off the tracks, saves his life. He momentarily like opens his eyes and sees her, and then he's out for the count.
Yep.
And then the next scene that we see, they're in the hospital. They're wheeling him in, and she's saying to the nurse, like, "Oh, can I go in there?" And like, "What's his name?" "I don't know his name. They just brought him in. Please let me see him." And they're like, "No." And
This is the mean male nurse, by the way.
mean male
Because
doctor,
they're two, the
whatever.
doctor, yeah.
Oh, he's terrible. Little smarmy guy.
Family only. You over there.
And so she's standing there watching them work on him between the glass doors. And then very nice nurse, Wanda, I believe we finally figure out, like,
Is that her name?
3/4 of the movie through, when she faints
Oh,
later.
sure.
Wanda overhears her talking to herself, and she says, "Oh, I was gonna marry him." And so Wanda takes it upon herself to bring her into the room, and obviously thinks that she's his fiance. And
Let him hear your voice.
yeah, tells him to talk to him. And that is when the chaos all happens. The police officer comes in to talk to her. And then all of a sudden, and this is what I love, like you can just immediately tell what's going to happen because the plinky plunky, funny, like, music turns on and his whole family rushes in.
Yeah.
It's like his mom and his dad and his little sister and their like longtime friend. They're just like asking all of the doctor all of these questions. It's a great scene where the doctor says something like, "Oh, he's good. His brain waves."
Yeah,
And
and
then,
they're just like, brain waves.
yeah, it's just a great scene.
Yeah.
And Sandy's like stuck in the corner. And then they ask, "Well, what happened? What's going on?" And then Sandy says, "Oh, he fell in the tracks and I saved him." And they're like, "Wait, what? Who is this?"
Who is this?
And-
Yeah.
And then does the nurse come in with it's his fiance?
Yeah.
And a great Chicago accent.
Peter's fiance? Oh, it's
Yeah.
great. I love how everyone says fiance differently. I think that's
Yeah.
really fun. Oh, she's the fiance.
Yeah.
She's the fiance?
And then, fun fact, the doctor is John Cusack and Joan Cusack's father.
Shut up.
Yep.
Out.
Mr. Cusack. Wow. That's crazy. They pulled out all the stops. This wasn't just like A-listers. This was like parents of A-listers being featured here. But that's I love when the cop kind of chimes in too as they're going back and forth and you know, like, I thought you said he fell. she pulled him off the tracks. You know, it's just great. And then the smarmy male doctor comes back in and is like so concerned that Sandy's in there. What is she doing here?
Yeah.
Family only.
Family only.
And then Ox, who again, Peter Boyle's the best, but Ox
so
like
funny.
shoves him aside and goes, "She is family." It's just great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then Midge
they
just
all-
hugs her and cries, the mom. That's great.
And poor Sandy's face in this was hilarious.
Yeah.
She's just like,
'Cause,
I
like,
don't know what's going
You
on.
can't get out of it. Yeah.
No.
Right, because she's like wants to say like, no, there's a mistake,
Yep.
like I'm not his, but then
just keep cutting
she's
her off.
crying, and then it's very important. This is key. Grandma Elsie is like clutching her chest, and they're like, oh, she's had episodes or heart problems and stuff. So that comes into play. So Sandy doesn't want to say anything because she's scared that
She's gonna
Grandma's
kill
gonna-
Aunt Elsie. Yeah.
Yeah.
The mom, Peter's mom, Midge, is like gives her a big hug. Or was like, you know, I always wanted him to find a nice girl. I'm so glad he found you, and hugs him. And how can you? Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna stop. You're not gonna stop Midge in the middle of that. It's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Because it's Christmas
So-
Day.
Exactly.
That's on top of it, too.
Because I think that's the big thing. Because when does everybody in the family show up at the same time for things like this?
Right.
I mean, normally it's like
Yeah.
you're coming from different places, but it's Christmas, so they're all together anyway. So they'd all go, and that just helps adds all this. So that's brilliant. Because most of the
Yeah.
time, why would they all show up at the same time? It gives them a great excuse as filmmakers to introduce everybody in one fell swoop, except Jack.
Where do we think Jack was? And so he must have been like picking up, like, because they're in the
Yeah.
estate business.
Yeah.
They buy furniture from dead people, as Ox so
Callahan and Sons.
puts it.
And now Callahan and Son.
Son.
But yeah.
And so he must have been out doing that, I
Yeah,
guess.
must have been.
Like, we don't see him until like the next day.
Yeah.
Why wasn't he at Christmas? So then they go out to the waiting room, and she confronts the nurse, and she was like, "Why did you say that?" And she was like, "Oh, I heard you say you were gonna marry him. I was talking to
Sandy's
myself."
lying. I was talking to myself.
Yeah, and they're just like, well, next time you're talking to yourself, tell yourself you're single and end the conversation. And so, like, that's just a great line. This is a great part. They're sitting in the waiting room, and the family is all just staring at Sandra. And she just feels very awkward. And so they ask him, you know, like, oh, how did you guys meet? And what did you notice? And they're like, no, she doesn't want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah. She says, oh, it was his smile. And the dad goes, $600
Yep.
bucks a tooth.
Yeah.
Cats.
The cats.
Yeah.
Whatever. So it's just a very funny family. And you can see how a lonely Sandra would just cling to that and love it. Everyone goes home, I think, next. And she can't sleep. She goes back
Just
to the hospital that night. This has a great speed. Talking to Peter, but you're wondering who I am. And do you think you believe in love at first sight? Says something like, have you ever fallen in love with someone that you've never even talked to? And so she's kind of crying. And then we see that Saul, Peter's godfather, has been in the family for a very long time. Hears her kind of say, I don't know you. I'm sorry. I'm not your fiance. So he knows the truth from very early on, which also is important.
Yep.
And so she ends up staying the night, and she wakes up, and the family is all coming in again, and they're all just smiling at her really creepily. And they invite her for Christmas dinner because they didn't get to have it that day, and invite her to come over. And Ox is like, Midge will call you and make you change your mind and stuff like that. So that's really sweet. And they say, oh, Jack will be there. You'll get to meet Jack.
Yep.
Which she hasn't met Jack yet, but she doesn't know who Jack is. She doesn't know. Again, she doesn't know these people. And so the next scene, orderly comes by and is like, oh, Mrs. Callahan, here's your husband things. And like, not my husband! And he's like, oh, sorry, your fiance. So she takes his things, and then one of Peter's lawyer friends comes over, and Alex, why do you tell this story?
So his lawyer friend is like, "Oh, you're Peter's fiance. I work with him in the thing." And then she kind of, what is the exact word? His friend, or she makes some.
He says, oh, he's had a tough year.
He's had a tough year.
Since the accident.
Since the accident, she's like, accident, and then he goes on to say, did he not? It was an accident. Did he not tell you it was an accident? And gets all riled up. And so we're playing basketball. I'm a lawyer. I carry a pencil. That's what I do. And then like you see the elevator doors shut, and like her face of just like terror of what have I gotten myself into? Find out that Peter had a little accident involved this man's pencil. There was maybe some amputation. There were some things that happened, and that helps. Again, all these things just to give her a little information about him, so it appears that she really does know when Jack. Because again, Jack questions this. Jack just does not feel
Jack
like
is
this
not
is
from the get-go.
Yeah.
He does not believe what's
Jack doesn't
going
buy
on.
it. Jack doesn't buy it at all because he knows his brother and knows this would not be someone that his brother would go for. Sandy is a nice girl,
Very sweet.
and that's not the kind of girl Peter goes
No.
for. Peter goes for Ashley Bartlett Bacon.
Sandy goes home and she's kind of like debating whether or not to go. Like she looks at the note, the business card on her fridge, like, oh, I could go. And she's like sad, eating alone, dipping the Oreo in the cat's dish.
Which is disgusting.
Ugh.
Which I'm going to stop for one second because there's a great scene which has my favorite lines in it. She tells her boss about what everything is going on. She tells him the whole thing about Elsie and the grandma and everything. And he was like, when my mother found out I was marrying my wife, her intestines exploded. So he's like, so if you're going to tell him now, you might as well shoot grandma. That's one of my favorites.
See, that's all the bit characters have
Yeah.
have great lines and execute them to perfection.
So Oreos and the cat milk, which I'm sorry, I always felt that was gross.
Yep.
I don't know. Like, I get it, it's just a dish, but still, cat licks out of it and
Yeah.
dip your Oreo in that.
So is Lucy a crazy cat lady? Is that essentially? Is she
Well,
like
that's
one
one.
step away from that?
I feel like crazy cat lady, you need to have multiple cats.
But is she on her way? I think that's the
Oh,
thing. If she
yeah.
doesn't save Peter Gallagher,
Maybe she has cats hidden in her sweater.
That could
that you
be.
don't
little
know
kittens
about.
pop out. Like
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, after
like
like,
rat cats.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
yeah, if things don't work out, she probably would have gotten another cat and just kept adding year
I
after
just
year.
think she's on the path.
Yep.
I think that's essentially what. Because how crazy cat ladies all of a sudden don't just get like 50 cats. You start with one.
Yeah.
And you start dipping the Oreo in the milk.
Yeah.
You're walking down that line, Mary. You're walking that path, man.
So she decides to go. She goes. She brings a poinsettia. And has a little walk and talk with Saul, who's like meets her there, and they, he kind of says the Callahan's, I would do anything for them, and I don't want anything. No one should hurt them. And she's like, I agree. They're great people. So kind of set this. Like he doesn't say anything that he knows, but he's kind of lays the foundation that you better be straight on your game, lady.
Listen, you.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
So Midge comes out and welcomes them in, and Elsie made her eggnog, which is implied. And so Saul, I feel like it took a really long time for us to figure out what Saul says, because he says, word of advice, drink soda.
Yeah.
And I feel like it took us forever. Like, we could never figure out what he said.
I know. I think I thought it was drink slowly for a really long time.
Yeah.
I think it's drink soda.
I think I heard soda today. Yeah.
Because we see her taking a sip and then immediately going like,
Regretting.
Should
Yeah.
listen to Saul.
Yeah. So it's just very funny, and they just exchange Christmas presents, and Lucy's just watching them like so in love with this idea of
Yeah.
family.
And they got her a present. They made her a stocking.
Yeah, it's so sweet. So sweet.
Yes, the
Yeah.
stocking, so cute. And then we hear
Gold watch. Ah!
Yes, I love Midge's screams like all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they're great.
And so while they're home, and then we do a little cut back to Peter's apartment, and Ashley Bartlett Bacon calls, leaves a voicemail saying, "Oh, what the heck? I will marry you.
Yeah.
I'm just getting back. I'm leaving Portugal." And so we're like, "What is going on?"
So the plot thickens.
So obviously, answering machine is the best place to accept a marriage proposal. Like you don't need to talk to the person.
No, absolutely not.
That's the way you do it. And so then Jack, this is the first meeting of Jack. We cut back to the home, and Lucy's asleep on the couch. Obviously, she had the eggnog, couldn't leave, so she had to stay on the couch. And then Jack comes home, and again, where has he been? Why is it so late? And then he says, "Oh, who's Lucy?"
Yeah.
Mary's like, "Oh, it's Peter's fiance," and that's not Peter's fiance. And Lucy is awake
Yeah.
and has heard this now, and is like, "Oh my gosh, he knows that I'm not the person." So it's a little nervous. And then Jack says, "Oh, maybe I will stay the night." So what was his point of coming over there if it's late? He
Maybe
knows
it's to
everyone's-
drop off the van because it's a work
Yeah,
truck.
that could be. Yeah, that could
Didn't
be.
think about that.
Yeah.
I was confused.
Yeah. Oh, and then today I just caught the line, Mary to Jack. It's last time you took the toy surprise. Remember that? She's telling him not to eat her cereal. Like, this is obviously what the youngest child is concerned about. Of course.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
It's great.
Toy surprise, don't take that.
Yeah. Don't take it.
So the next morning, they wake up, and it's another great scene. There's a little guy on a bike throwing out
Yeah.
papers, and he wipes out.
Yeah. Just that's another great thing.
Yeah.
It's like such a random moment of comedy.
Well, I read in the trivia, he was just supposed to do it correctly, and on the first take, on his second throw, the kid falls and breaks his wrist.
Oh.
And then they just decided to use
Keep
the
it,
take because
yeah.
it was
Oh,
funny.
it's so funny.
Because there's like stuff like that. Like there's right at the beginning, you see someone ice skating fall down
Yep.
in the opening sequence.
Yeah.
And then later when Lucy and Jack are walking on the bridge, like someone's like weirdly making out.
Yup.
And so they're just like these little snippets of
Yeah.
hilarity.
It's just fun. That, by the way, is my wife Kelsey's favorite part.
When he falls?
When he falls. Yeah, I was like, we were talking about this earlier today, and because she loves the movie too, and she's like, when the kid wipes out the paper boy when he's throwing the thing, she's like, that just kills me every time.
It is funny. It is a good part. So Lucy wakes up and she's kind of gonna sneak out of the house, and then Jack is creepily waiting for her on the stairs. Right? Is that what he's doing? He's just sitting there waiting for her.
He's a creepy bloke. That's just what happens.
He's already taken
Yeah.
the toy surprise out of the cereal, so he's just
Clearly.
got time to kill.
Clearly. Yeah. Lucy gets the feeling, he's gonna rat on me, and she almost starts to tell him. Like she almost says, "I'm sorry. You know what? I just can't." And then he's just like, "Welcome
Welcome to the family.
to the family." She's like, "Oh, thank you." bye.
Yeah.
And she leaves, gets in her cab and goes. The next scene, they go to church.
Yes.
Which is another great scene of just their family dynamic. And the dad and the son are talking about the different estates that the son had got picked up. Clearly, there's something that the son is not in love about with the business. We don't know what that is yet.
Yeah.
But just great family interaction. It's just hilarious.
He tells Ox, Dad, I gotta talk to you about something, or something like that kind of cuts brought up in there. And then Mary, the younger sister, or someone else says, I don't want to talk about it now. And she goes, tell him now, he can't kill you in church. Like, there's just, between that and the conversation between Elsie and Mitch about how the Mass is, I like the Mass better when it was in Latin because you couldn't understand what they were saying and all this stuff. And the gentleman behind them in the pew, excuse me, you're disrupting the Mass.
Who made you Pope?
It's just brilliant. All that stuff. Amen. It's just great.
Yeah.
It's just great.
I love how they
Perfectly timed.
end it with the liturgy and everyone saying amen.
It's just great.
So good.
It's just wonderful stuff.
And so the next, Lucy's home. She's going through the box of Peter's stuff, and it's like pictures of himself. And just
Yes.
Yep. And on the counter, like there's a picture.
Yeah,
Like a skiing
I noted that.
photo
'Cause you could sing "You're So Vain."
It's true. That very well describes it.
It's like, look at me, I'm
Lucy,
skiing. Look at me. It's just a nice headshot.
Not his family.
No.
Like nothing with the O'Callaghan's. It's all
And she also finds some cat food. And so she realized there's a poor cat in Peter's apartment that is probably starving. So she rushes over there to go find him. Jack comes to go see her. I don't know why, to confront her or ask her something or who knows why. And he runs into Joe Fusco Jr.,
of course.
who immediately tells Jack that he's dating Lucy.
Yep. And implies some things. Yeah.
I'm dating her.
Yeah. And so then, oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Man.
So Lucy goes to the apartment. She sneaks past the doorman, who's like kind of busy.
Yep.
Dealing with other people, also very key to her the plot. And Jack goes over there too, and she hits him in the head with a door.
Yep.
He's like, oh, you have a key. He's like, well, come over, feed the cat. And he's like, well, Peter doesn't have a cat.
And like right on cue, the cat meows, which is great.
Yeah.
And like pops in and hey, rich kitty, really rich kitty, fluffy. Yeah, it's great. That's all great stuff.
Yeah.
The phone rings.
And it's for Lucy.
Yeah, Lucy wasn't
Which
going
is
to answer
great.
it, but then Jack picks it up. And then it's for Lucy. And it's the hospital saying that friends and family can donate blood at this time, kind of thing. So then they're like, yeah, let's go donate blood. And then there's this scene in the car garage where Jack's kind of testing her here, like, so where's his car? And then she just hits, like, the car alarm. And it's she wasn't looking in the right spot. It's, like, right in front of them.
Don't you think? Here's the thing, though. At this point, when she's in the apartment, she knows he has a cat. Like, there's a lot of things there. I think that if you're Jack, he just doesn't want to believe. He doesn't want to believe.
He's
kind of
like, hey, this girl
likes her.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's just very interesting.
I just would think at that point, like, okay, she obviously is his fiance. I think there must be something there, but he hasn't confronted her though. I guess about Joe Fusco
No,
Jr.
not
So
yet.
I suppose that's part
Because
of it.
then they go to the hospital and they give blood and they go into the room and then he's like asking her all these questions about her favorite stooge and his ice cream and baseball team. And they're like, oh, why are you asking her all these questions? And then he's like, ask her boyfriend. And I was like, that's not very nice. This boyfriend, Joe Fusco Jr.
He's delusional. He was very lucid when I spoke with him. Oh man! And that's when the whole pencil thing comes up, like the proof. If she loves him, she'd prove it. All that stuff, and then proceeds to give a little factual information about Peter's anatomy, which has been altered in the past month or so by his lawyer buddy. And then Midge checks. That's a proof.
Yeah.
I'm his mother. I'll do it.
That's pretty good.
And then they all walk out. As they're walking out of the room, and Elsie with that, well, at least he's got more room in his jockey shorts now. It's just great. It's just so funny.
So good.
She has so many great lines.
Was Sandy in the elevator with them, or was she in a separate?
No.
Okay.
She's not in there with them.
Nope.
I couldn't
it's just
remember
great.
that, yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so then we go and Sadie's back at her apartment and Joe Fusco Jr. comes to visit and I don't know what he says to her.
Is this
he's standing up because of the
the escapades? You and me, escapades.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and so he's mad that she stood her up, and so someone else knocks on the door, and so it's Saul, and so she puts Joe in the closet. So Saul comes in, and he confronts her, and he was like, I know, I heard you that night in the hospital.
Yep.
I know that you're not his fiance. I know that you don't know him. She's like, I'm sorry. I'll tell him. I'm going to tell him. And he's like, don't say a word. And she's like, what? And he's like, you don't have Peter. They were haven't really close to Peter, and now that you're here, they feel like they have Peter back. So don't say anything. It'll just be better this way. So she's like, all right. So Saul leaves.
Can I say, by the way, when Saul says, by the way, how did you know about Peter with the, about his injury?
Yeah.
And he goes, you know what? I don't want to know.
Yeah.
That is funny. That's a great part too. The Saw leaves. She hears a noise and she looks over, and Joe Fusco Jr. is trying on her shoes in her closet. And
I slipped.
Yeah.
and
I
my
just
foot
kind of,
slipped.
I just.
So that's great. So then another knock at the door, and it's Jack this time. So she shoves Joe back in the closet. And my favorite part is like she's going to go open the door, and she like shakes it off to be like nice and breezy.
Yep.
It's really really great. And so it's Jack. He's got a present for them, an engagement present. And she's like, oh, just take it to Peter's. And he's like, you don't even know what it is. Any feeling that would look good there. And she's like, and then she hears Joe like in the closet again. She's like, oh, I'll just come with you.
Yep.
And so they go on a little adventure. It's a love seat, but first she thinks
She gets excited about the rocking chair, this beautiful rocking chair. Yep. You like that? Oh, too bad. Ox got you the love seat.
And we found out that Jack has made the rocking chair. He's a carpenter, and we realize that that's kind of what he wants to do. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to be in the estate furniture. He wants to make rocking chairs and dining tables and things like that, which he appears to be very good at.
It's a good looking rocking chair.
So they take the sofa up to the apartment, and the doorman is like, oh, where are you going to see? We're like, oh, 57G, Peter Callahan. And, oh, well, that's his fiance. And, oh, I'm new here. And, oh, they told me about her. She's scary. And then Jack is like, you bet, or something like that. I don't know. It's weird.
I know, or something is what he says. Yeah.
Yeah, so they take the sofa up, and of course, hilarious ensues, and they knock over this blue thing and put the sofa there. And so on the way back, they see that the truck has been blocked in. They can't get out. And so Sandy's just going to leave
him. She's going to leave him there.
Just walk home.
She's just gonna go.
Bye. Yep.
Yeah. And he does a great line of like, oh, I should walk with you for protection. And she's like, oh, no, I'm fine. He's like, no, I mean, for me, this is Chicago. It's late.
Yeah.
And so then I wrote down that they go on a walk of love.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it is. They get to have this nice, lovely walk together and talk about their lives.
Because they're cold. They keep warm. They just keep talking.
She tells him about Florence.
Her dream.
She wants to go to Florence. And she has her passport with her and her
Yep.
bag ready to go. And they have this great, adorable walk. And they get back to her apartment, and there's icy sidewalks. So they have to help each other. And, of course, they slip, and there's pants ripping, and, you know.
Bill Pullman goes down like a sack of potatoes.
Oh, so funny. Rips his pants. And
Right at the seam.
it's like,
just-
oh, do you have another pair of pants in your apartment? And she's like, if you fit into my pants, I will kill
Yeah.
myself. So that's just great.
Yeah. In my notes, I wrote falling on the ice and then falling in love. ...
Yeah.
A little bit.
He clearly likes her. She clearly likes
There's some
him.
chemistry.
Oh, there's big time. Big
For
time.
sure.
Sandy and Bill, big time.
Because then the next day, she's talking to her boss, Jerry, again.
Yes.
And so she starts telling long story. Oh, I'm having an affair. Like with the coma guy? No, with his brother, Jack. And so it's just really, really funny. And he's like, what should I do? And then Jerry goes, shoot, pull the plug.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
You're sick.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And so then we see Peter and Jack have a nice little moment. We see that Jack really likes Sandy because he gives this great speech about how he was a troublemaker growing up, and people would say, why can't you be more like Peter? And like, that never bothered me because I was proud of you, and you never had anything that I wanted until now. And so he's like, high card gets Lucy. And then he doesn't get the high card. He's like,
2 out of 3.
that's it. So that's just really funny. And then another great scene, a family scene, is next. They go over to dinner.
That's my favorite part in the whole movie. There are so many fun conversations that take place at the dinner table, and
That really mean nothing. Like, just background.
just fun, goofy things about how creamy the mashed potatoes are. Mary mashed.
How
potatoes,
tall Cesar Romero was. I never said Cesar Romero was Spanish. I said Cesar Romero was tall.
Well, of course he was tall.
John Wayne was 6'5". Yeah. Dustin
you
Hoffman was 5'8".
You want to see Dustin Hoffman save
No,
the
we
Alamo.
don't.
Yeah.
I think this was where I
it's
realized that the Callahans kind of mirror your family because there's 2 older brothers and a younger sister.
Oh, that's
Just-
right. That is right.
Pointing it out there.
Yes. I feel like though Mary is significantly younger than the brothers. Like, don't we think she's like 14, 15?
Yeah, she's a high
The
schooler.
boys are probably in their 30s.
Yeah, like Pierce Steers was her Christmas present,
Yeah.
and Jack and Peter are like in their 30s probably.
Yeah.
At this point.
Well,
So there's a
he
little
was
gap
born
there.
in
Mary was
59,
kind of an oops baby.
I think they said.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
do the math.
Oh, he talks about,
Yeah.
that's right. I also love, by the way, that Saul brings up Argentina has great beef.
Oh, yeah.
Beef and
Yeah.
Nazis is like part of the conversation. Guy Lombardo
Yeah.
plays a mean clarinet, and like all
Something
like
like
just
that.
this
Mhm.
great,
So funny.
hilarious conversation.
And like the whole time, like Sandy's not really saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like Midge says, like, wish you could find Jack a nice girl. And she's like, oh, I don't know what Jack's type is.
Yeah.
And Jack's like, I like blondes.
Chubby ones. And Mitch just smiles. And then Mary goes, You like brunettes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just great. There's just like a nothing. That's just another great example of like a nothing scene that is just fantastic. That doesn't necessarily like add particularly to the plot in any situation, except in the end. As they're leaving, there's mistletoe. Kiss her, idiot. Yeah. It's tradition. Kiss her.
Because Elsie, the grandma, is the mom. She's Mrs. Banks from Mary Poppins, Sister Suffragette.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm a big Mary Poppins fan.
It is kind of funny that she's British. Like, nobody else is British, and she's got this fun little British accent.
Next, Mary and her friend Beth, darn you Beth, go into town, and they stop at Sandra's toll booth, and she comes in, and Celeste's like, oh, who's this? And Mary's like, oh, Sandy's marrying my brother. And then Celeste's like, what?
Yeah.
You're engaged.
The train comes, so the girls go to leave, and then Celeste like turns to Lucy and is like, oh, girl, are you pregnant? And then Lucy just out of, it's like, yes, of course, that's what it is. I'm pregnant, which is what Beth hears.
Yeah, of course. And her eyes get all big as she's leaving. It's
yeah,
really
that's
funny.
Great. Poor Beth has no lines, but plays an important
Makes the movie.
Yeah.
So then Mary, obviously Beth tells Mary, and then Mary goes and tells her whole family.
Of course she does.
And Jack immediately leaves because he's very upset about
Already
it.
out the door. Yep.
And goes and confronts Sandy about it. And as she goes
at the New Year's Eve party, right?
It's Celeste's New Year's Eve party. Yep.
And the great part is like he's kind of like tailing her and uninvited.
Yeah.
And walks in the door, and then Celeste's like, oh, Lucy and her fiance are here.
Jack turns around as the door shuts. Like it's just great.
And they're like taking his jacket off.
Oh
and,
gosh.
Jerry's there, and he's like, oh, he looks really good.
Really good. Is it?
Like, no, it's his brother Jack. And
Who's Jack again? Yeah,
they have another great confusing conversation. And
is that they make pills for this? I feel like that's
they
what
make
Jerry says. Yeah.
Or they have.
Or no, they have
doctors.
Or they have doctors
Yep.
for this. That's right.
And so then Lucy goes over to have a drink of punch, and Jack's like, oh, you shouldn't have that. It's spiked.
Yeah.
She's like, why not?
It's not good for the baby. Just as the music is dying down, and you see Jerry like lowering his glass across the room. It's just great. Turtle Top.
Yeah. It's so funny.
That's a great scene.
After Sandra leaves, very upset, and they have a conversation about how she's not Peter's type, and he's like, don't get me wrong, like it's a good idea, but I just don't see it. And then they have a great conversation about leaning and what is leaning. And Joe Fusco Jr. is there.
Leaning includes wanting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accepting. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then Joe Fusco Jr. just proves Jack's point by asking if Jack is bothering Lucy because it looks like he's leaning.
Yeah.
The hand motion's important, by the way. Like just a little bit of a 75-degree little tilt of your hand.
And so then they talk. She's like, obviously, the only reason you think Peter would marry me, someone like me, is if I was pregnant. And he's like, no, that's not. And she's like, forget it. And so she gets mad, and they go upstairs.
Yeah, doesn't she have her line like, you've ruined my Christmas, you've ruined New Year's, if you come back on Easter, you can burn my apartment.
Yeah. So funny. He's like, why do you care? He's like, I just want you to be happy. And she's
Are
like,
you happy, Jack?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
So he follows her upstairs. Well, she just has a great line about, he says, oh, you have people, and she's like, I don't have anybody. I am alone. You don't know what it's like to be alone. It's all very sad. And then they get the call. He's awake.
Yeah.
Peter's awake.
Just when you think the plot, we're kind of running out of things to do, and then coma over.
Which is not good for Lucy, because now, obviously, here's this person who's not going to know her that she's been saying is her fiance.
Yes.
So it's just hilarious. And the best is, like, so the whole family's there. They've all woken up. They're all on a line, and they do this great slow pan.
It's a little
from
perspective.
face, and Ox is, like, thumbs up, and Midge is crying, and everyone's smiling. And then they get to Lucy, and she's just like,
half smile, like,
they keep going a little bit, and then they kind of come back to Lucy.
Yeah, like, who are you?
And then he faints.
Yeah, so it was just great. And so then we decide that he has selective amnesia, obviously. And then it's great when they tell him that he has amnesia. And he's like, A, B, C, D. And he's like, starts doing the alphabet.
I like when he's like, they offer him Jell-O, and he asks his mom, do I like Jell-O?
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah.
So Jack drives her home. She, kind of gives a little speech about how, like, things are probably going to change now that Peter's awake. Because she's thinking, I got to tell them. I think, that's what she means. It's going to be different. You're not going to want to have anything to do with me anymore. And he's like, my brother's awake. They're going to be together, and I'm going to, we're just be friends. Kind of sad. Jack talks to his dad the next day over donuts.
Best way to have a conversation. Yep, over Dunkin' Donuts in the kitchen.
Yeah, and about how he doesn't want to be a part of the business anymore, and just like, oh, why didn't you tell me years ago? I could have sold it to Uncle Eddie.
Yeah.
3 times his worth.
I could have given you your mother a cruise with Frank and Kathy Gifford.
That's it. Lucy has asked Saul to kind of intervene and take control of this. Tell the family for her. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll handle it and stuff. Saul goes talk to Peter. And okay, do you remember this? So when it was on TV, they would play this part, and Saul calls Peter a putz. But on TV, they, like, bleeped it out and, put in, like, idiot, maybe? Or you're a schmuck.
Yeah, I can't remember what they said. It was, yeah.
And I just remember, like, because you can obviously tell when things have been dubbed
Yes.
over. They were like, is putz a bad word? Like, we were just so confused of why they would have dubbed out putz. And so he tells Peter that he's a putz and that, you know, Lucy is such a great girl, and even if you don't remember her, she saved your life. So either break up with her right now or propose to her again. If in 2 minutes you see what the rest of us took seconds to see, you'll propose to her again. And,
she's your guardian angel.
And then we get another phone call from, Ashley shows up at the at the apartment, and the doorman's like, oh, you're not Peter's fiance, and she's like, what?
Because she's called the second time and left a second voicemail about, I can't believe you haven't called me back. I'm coming to town and all that stuff.
And where's my cat?
Yeah, yeah, all that stuff is great. Yeah, there's so many little things that just kind of complicate things for poor Sandy.
So Sandy comes back to the hospital, and she goes to the 4th floor to go see him, but he's been moved to the 2nd floor out of the ICU. And so Ashley comes in first, says, like, are you engaged to somebody else? And breaks up with him, kind of, like, I'm a new man, da-da-da-da. And so she leaves, storms out, and then Sandy comes back down.
Can we say, by the way, the guy next to him, so they're in this dual hospital room, and the patient next to him is, like, watching this as if it's a soap opera unfolding in his eyes as he's, like, drinking his little ice bits through a straw and stuff. And as he leaves, he's like, whoa, Peter, or Japers, Peter. Moving on to greener pastures. Good for you, buddy. It's just great. Like, I just love that they throw
Another
that
just
stuff
a funny little bit character that is just great. And so Sandy comes back down, and I think she's going to tell Peter. I think she's going to confess. She's going to be like, because she's fired Saul. She's like, you've not handled it. You've done opposite of what I've asked you to do. Forget this. So she goes to say, but then Peter, like, cuts her off and says, I'm a new man, and my whole family loves you. I might as well love you. And he proceeds to propose again.
Lucy Eleanor Moderates. Will you marry me? And then...
And Wanda faints. Wanda faints.
Absolutely.
And so Lucy's like, doesn't know what to do. She's trying on shoes with her dress on her
on a hanger.
On a hanger over her head. And Jack comes again, and he drops off a wedding present, and it's a snow globe of Florence. And very sweet. They have a touching moment, and then he goes to leave, and she says...
She ultimatums him, really.
Yeah, can you give me any reason why I shouldn't marry your brother? And he thinks for a second, and he says no. Why do you think he says no? Why can't he just say, yeah, I love you?
Maybe he was taking it too literally.
Oh, that could be. Because it's his brother. As a brother myself, you can't, I mean, bros before girls and stuff. That's like, that's a thing.
That's a classic thing.
That's a classic bros before
Just like that.
No, gosh, I mean, that's,
Yeah, so you feel bad.
Can't do that.
And then she goes, and the next day, she gives her boss the wedding invite. She's like, this is to your wedding. And whom are we marrying? So she's like, Peter, the coma guy.
The coma guy?
And he asks her, what about Jack? What about the brother? And she's like, he didn't want me. Oh,
that's tough.
No.
Sad. Great acting by Sandy. We haven't talked about this enough.
Was...
Just great. Like, she's the most lovable person, and you feel for her.
She's enough of a mess where you can kind of believe, like, oh, okay, this kind of makes sense that she's just working, as in the train station and doesn't have a lot going for her and is 5 steps away from Crazy Cat Lady.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as you can see why the family loves her so much and why Jack loves her and why, she just plays it both ways. Like, she's not perfect, but she's so much like just someone that you would easily fall in love with. So as an audience, we fall in love with her very quickly.
Yes, me too.
You're on her side. So her wedding days come. She's late, and it's great. Like, maybe she forgot.
Maybe she's stuck in traffic.
Yeah, it's great. So she shows up, and Jack is there. Obviously, is Peter's best man. And Peter, I think, is he wearing a pajama top?
He's wearing his hospital gown, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's hooked up to an IV.
Yeah. And he's got a jacket on top.
Yeah.
Very classy.
So he's like, oh, what do you think? Does this look okay? Does the jacket suck or what? And then Jack is just like, I got the rings, da 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 da. You suck. He's like, I suck or the outfit sucks? Yeah. He's like, it's a toss-up. So Jack clearly not happy, obviously, because he loves Sandra.
Can I say, by the way, why are they getting married it's like the next day and they're getting married? Anybody give me a reason.
Yeah, okay, here's my reason. It's because when she talks to her boss, she's like, I wish it was yesterday. Like, I just want it to be over and done with. Because then I'll be in Florence with a stamp that says Italy in my passport. So I just think she just wants to get it done.
Mary, any thoughts?
I don't know, because it does seem really weird, especially since Peter doesn't remember her. So you think they would use the engagement time as a time to reconnect, go on some dates.
or to let him recover. I feel like he's
Yeah.
just woken up. Maybe
Yeah,
like
he's
a
still got
couple
that
days.
scab over his eyebrow.
Yeah.
Like,
And they're getting married in, I believe, the hospital
Yep.
chapel
Oh, for
is what
sure.
it appears.
Totally
Yeah.
the hospital
Because like
chapel.
one of the other, there's like a guy in a bed like laying to
Yeah.
this. Like,
So that is, I mean, again, I love everything about this movie. That's sort of as impossible as different things that have happened. That one's like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. But
Yeah.
it's great. It's just great that would happen. So
Maybe it's just
it
their
makes
way
sense
of
in the plot.
eloping. Like they would have preferred to
Essentially.
elope, kind
Yeah,
of.
that's a good point.
small wedding. She doesn't have family.
That's
you know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah.
Everybody they love is
belongs.
there, and Celeste is there, and Jerry's there, and the people from the hospital, Wanda's there.
Wanda's there.
Yeah.
It's just great.
So yeah, so she walks down the aisle and like she forgets to take her jacket off,
Which
and
is
the mom's
great.
like, "Take your jacket, take
Yep.
off your jacket."
Hangs it on the
That's
IV
really great.
of somebody else. No
Yeah,
big deal.
perfect. So she makes it all the way
Yep.
down the aisle. She turns around, and the whole time she's looking like they're just zooming in on Jack.
Yep, it's just
Yeah.
great.
And the priest starts like, "Dearly beloved," and right away Sandra's like, "I object." Yeah, and then the plinky plunky like music.
Yep.
There's like there's the plinky plunky like funny chaos music,
Yeah.
and then there's like this sweet charming like
Yep.
flowy music that's just great in this movie. And so the priest's like, I haven't got to that.
Yeah.
And then Jack objects
Yep.
too,
Yep.
and then the priest looks at Peter. "What about you?" And he's like, I'm thinking. So that's great. And then she lets it all out. She tells the truth. Oh, the best line is though, she's like, "I'm in love with your son," and the parents are like, "We know."
Yeah.
It's like, "No, not that one. That one." And it's just perfect, and it's great. And you can see like Jack is like kind of relieved and
Yeah.
happy, and then
Why didn't you say something?
yeah, and so she lets the whole story spilled out that someone said that it was her fiance so she could see him, and then she couldn't tell him because of Elsie in the heart, but then she didn't want to because I fell in love with you. And then
You
Ox
fell
like,
in love with me?
Yeah.
well,
Peter
no,
Boyle.
yes, all of you. And so
Yeah.
she just explains like going from being all alone to having this family. Like this was just amazing for me.
I love when she asks, "Elsie, you doing okay?" And she takes a picture
Yeah.
with like her little birdie camera, and
Yeah.
just a good time.
So the whole family's crying, and Sandy apologizes, and I might have saved your life on the track that day, but you know what? You really saved mine.
Yeah.
And
good
so
stuff.
she leaves, and then Ashley Bartlett Bacon comes in, who objects.
Yep. And then her husband objects.
Yeah. And so the family just gets into a big fight, and in the chaos,
Sandy
Sandra
slips
comes-
out. Yep.
Slips out.
She leaves, and so then we see her back in her apartment taking out down her tree, and then Joe Fusco Jr.
Yeah.
comes to console her, and
And then they just end up mourning together because the lady from the third floor had dumped
Yeah.
him and broken his heart.
yes,
So Sandy's like, "Want to go try on some shoes?" He's like, "Yeah."
so good. So then we see she's back in her toll booth, but it's her last day. We don't know what she's gonna do.
Yeah, they never really say.
Like, do you think she was gonna go travel, go back to school? I don't know.
Has she made enough to go to Florence? She never says.
We do not know.
I get the sense that this has been the push for her just I'm done with this. I gotta just go start my life. I've realized this whole scene has made me realize that I'm 5 steps away from being a crazy cat lady, and I need to get my life in motion. Yeah, good. It's good. It's a good for her moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna be done, and then tokens are coming in, and she looks down, and what is that? A diamond ring!
So there's the whole family. All the Callahans
Yeah.
love that.
That's great. When they add up, and it's just the whole family's just there smiling at her, and
Minus Peter.
mine's Peter. Peter's not there.
Important to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do we think? I mean, is he still in the hospital? Like, how? I'm curious how many days have passed. Is this the next day?
I feel like it's the next day, don't you?
Do you think so? I would give him. It takes a little bit to get an engagement ring,
He makes furniture. He's got cash. He sets it right down.
but to size it though. and
Well,
to
she
do,
never
there's
puts
a
it
lot.
on her finger. It's only
That's a
ever
good
on her
point. That's a
thumb.
good point.
Yeah.
So,
It could be the next day. I feel like.
I like
we'll
to
see.
think it's the next day. I like
Who
to
knows?
think things happen like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
This movie really takes place in like
About
8 days.
about 2 weeks.
So plausible. You're right, Al.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. But when Jack goes, "Lucy, gotta ask you a question," and then she says no.
Get down on one knee.
Yeah.
Let him do it.
Yeah.
I am letting him do it. That's great. But yeah.
But then she says, no, not without a token.
Yeah.
Plinks that thing in there, and then she lets him in. And, yeah, and then he just says,
Great.
"Marry me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they say
That's
they love
great.
each other.
It's pretty great.
And then we see they're on the train. They're on the train.
Yep.
Just married sign on
Yep.
the back of the train.
Yeah,
And
she's got her wedding dress, and he's in his
do the
tux,
narration again of
Yeah. I guess you might say he gave me the world.
Ticket to Florence. She's got the best line. She's like, Peter once asked me when it is I fell in love with Jack. And I told him, it was while you were sleeping. Oh!
Title.
Wherever would I be without you? So good.
Great movie. I
So
just
good.
love it from start to finish. We want to give our reviews from us. I'm giving it 5 bowls of creamy mashed potatoes.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go ahead and give it 5 stamps and a passport.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I am going to give it, is 5 Joe Jr. plumber butts? Is that I think it's too bad, maybe.
No, that's good.
That works.
5 Joe Jr. leans? I don't know.
5 leans.
Something.
That's good.
Whatever
5
whatever
tickets to the
it is.
escapades.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
5 Jack rocking chairs.
Yeah. So now you've heard what we thought. I mean, again, just classic, perfect, amazing, basically. And now we're going to share with you some reviews from Amazon. Mary, if you want to do the 5-star review for us today.
Yes, I would. This is titled A Sweet Romantic Comedy, left May 24, 2007. This is one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time. Sandra Bullock is perfect in her role, and she has great chemistry with Bill Pullman. All the supporting cast is fabulous, from Peter Gallagher, perfect in his role as the superficial one of the 2 brothers, to the late, always hilarious Peter Boyle and reliable
R.I.P.
Jack Warden. Strong casting, an original storyline, great script, and perfect execution make for a highly enjoyable romantic comedy.
Yes.
5 stars. Yes.
Yes. So then when looking for like 1-star reviews, most of them were like, this DVD didn't work. So we did a 2-star review. And I had a hard time finding anything that I would ever want to read, like saying bad things about this movie.
Oh, jeez.
So this is the one I'm going with. This is a 2-star review by Kenneth Anderson on February 23rd, 2015.
Oh, recent.
And the title is, Did Sandra Bullock Let the Cat Starve to Death? So what happened to Ashley Bacon's poor cat? Sandra Bullock only fed it one day on like Christmas Eve, and it was left locked in that apartment for a month. Did Sandra Bullock let that poor cat starve to death? So, Kenny, she goes back over there, I'm sure, and gets fluffy,
Yeah.
and then it hangs out with her cat.
Yeah, that's all good.
Mouth, meow.
Meow?
Her
Mouse?
cat's name is.
Mouse? I don't know. If you know the name of the cat in this movie, please tweet it to us at All My Movies Show, please. Oh my goodness.
Yes, we have to know.
Yeah.
But anyways.
We need to know right meow.
Yeah.
Right, meow.
meow, meow, meow.
Tweet us meow. Again, great movie. Watch it. It's streaming on Netflix for free. So it's a great holiday. Like, we always said it was a holiday movie, but like some people think it's not. And I'm like, it happens during Christmas.
Yeah, it's like
hello.
it's like during the 12 days of Christmas between the Christmas day and New Year's.
Yes. Yeah.
And then a couple days past that. So,
Right. It's a great holiday movie.
Yep.
So you should watch it.
yeah. Although,
now.
like, maybe Hollywood didn't think of it as a holiday movie because they released it in April.
That's true.
Yeah, I keep coming back to that. I think either that got bumped back or they didn't realize it was taking place during
Yeah.
They
Christmas.
wanted it to go up against Basketball Diaries.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like, it could have been a really good Valentine's Day, like, date movie.
Yeah.
You know how they always release a rom-com around that time?
Studios were different back
think-
then, apparently.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman would have pulled in all the viewers, all the ladies,
Yeah.
with that swoopy hairdo that he's got going on.
Classic Pullman.
Delightful. Email us if you want us to watch a Sandra movie quickly, next, whatever. You can email us at allmymoviespodcast@gmail.com. Leave us your comments on our iTunes. Final thoughts, anybody?
Do yourself a favor. If you like humanity and love and Christmas and all good things in the world and mashed potatoes, you should watch this movie.
Yes.
And then repeat.
I feel like if you have a family, you should watch this movie to, like, discover how a holiday should be. I feel like my family is kind of subpar compared to the Callahans because we don't have these ridiculous conversations.
Oh.
I'll just start talking about John Wayne.
Do it.
I mean, I used to play the licorice stick, so I have lots of knowledge there. So.
Yeah.
Nobody plays the clarinet anymore.
See where that see where that takes you.
Yeah.
Make some eggnog this Christmas and
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring some Oreos over.
Okay, I have besides Sandra, favorite, secondary character in this movie.
All of them? I mean,
know,
that's
you
that's
know.
hard. Fusco is what comes to mind first.
I really
Just-
love Elsie. I love
See,
Grandma.
that's
Yeah,
the same
Elsie's
thing.
good.
Anybody who says I don't drink anymore, ... I don't drink any less either.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just great. I mean, like all that's great. Ox is great. I love
Ox
Ox.
is great.
I
Saul.
love Mitch. Yeah, they're all. They're just,
Saul.
even like the random, like the nurse is so good. And
Yeah.
I like
all the-
Jerry, I think.
Oh, he's fantastic.
So just his lines are just great.
Yeah, I think we skipped. Sandy says, "You're sick." And he's like, "I'm sick. You're cheating on a vegetable."
Maybe it should be Jerry. Jerry kills every one of those scenes.
Jerry's
Yeah.
good.
They're just great.
He's a great sounding board for Sandy. Helps her not make any decisions. I know.
He's the moral compass of this movie. Helps her not make any decisions. Exactly.
It's like,
Oh.
it's great. Well, Alex, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for being our first guest star.
Thanks for
Yes.
having me. This is great.
On My Movies
I will talk
podcast.
about while you were sleeping, whenever,
I know, right?
wherever,
I feel like
with
this
whomever.
It's going to be an extra long extended edition. So we'll leave you with these final thoughts straight from the movie poster. It's a story about love at second sight.